Well, it's Friday, and you all know what that means. That means we're only going to be reviewing AEW Rampage and who levels up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up. Let's find out. But also, we got some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as which promotion are throwing what event, who's being booked, what matches are set, the whole enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, then click subscribe, and if you like this episode, click like. So let's get started right away with our very first review. Our very first one is, of course, AEW Rampage. Our opening match we have, of course, is the Elite, consistent of Hangman and the Young Bucks, taking on the Dark Order, Uno, Silver, and Reynolds. Now, this particular match was set due to a very interesting storyline. As you know, things have been gone a little south between both Hangman and the Dark Order. Now, ever since the Elite has been the constant target of the Blackpool Combat Club, Hangman Page decided to give them a helping hand in some way, which led to more where the Dark Order questioning them and what is the deal with this. So basically, the Dark Order, as you know, they've been dealing with their own turmoil with, of course, Stu Grayson walking out on them, joining, well, not officially a member of the Righteous, but acts like an associate of them because due to the fact that the Dark Order has strained away from their the old ways. If you guys remember, they weren't violent enough like they used to be back until the late Brody Lee passed away. But, however, this match tried to prove that they can Dark Order try to prove they can do exactly what they think, but out of nowhere, they in fact got the assist of those dumbasses, Takeshita and Castagnoli, getting involved, costing the Elite the match. But when things seems like when the match was over, Blackpool Combat Club tried to get involved, but unfortunately, Kenny Omega shows up with the helping hand. So as you know, this is not far from over until we get to Blood and Guts. Now, once again, as you know, QTV is once at it again with little shenanigans. As you know, Hobbs will be facing against Ricky Stark, so there's confident that this match will end with Hobbs winning his match in the semifinals in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. And Harley Cameron thinks that, despite the fact that Anthony Bowens has already put it out there saying he's gay, she still thinks that he's into her. And of course, the look on everybody's faces, especially the guys, are like, he said he was gay. So it became like more, not a delusion, but more like, is she really wasn't paying attention? And of course, they decided to play a little fun game, knowing that they got Johnny TV on their side, that they decided to make fun of the Acclaim's music. So the Acclaim will get their payback. It's only a matter of time until they do. But that's pretty much what goes. Now our next match is part of the Blind Elimination Tag Team Tournament. Quarterfinals, we have Matt Hardy teaming up with Jeff Jarrett. Now this was like a very unusual team. However, their opposing team, well, they, as we call it, the luck of the draw, is the members of the JSA, Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. However, we know they could get along, but recently we have been seeing Sammy has been disdaining himself away from what's been going on with the JSA little by little. But however, we know that Matt Hardy and Jeff Jarrett, they may not be on the same page, but Sanjay Dutt is delusional, believing that they think they could have this all planned out. However, there was a moment where they tried to throw in the guitar for Matt Hardy to use. He refused, but however, he got GTH by Sammy, but Garcia took the advantage opportunity to pin Hardy to give the match. So basically, the JSA will continue into the next round. However, Matt Hardy ended up being beat up. Then here comes Brother Zay, who tried to help, but it didn't do any good. And then here comes Ethan Page, who decided to help him on his own free will. So that kind of changed everything. So we don't know what else is going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a feud between the Dickwads and along with Hardy, Ethan, and of course Brother Zay. So we'll see how that turns. Then we have, of course, Hikaru Shida versus Marina Shafir. We haven't seen Shida for quite some time. We know she has been going back and forth Japan. I did report that she'll be heading back um, to Japan for Wave for a match against anybody who will be her number one contender for her title. This was a much interesting match, where we're seeing, Shida is still undefeated on Marina Shafir as always, but she also did apply the katana to put her away once and for all. Now, we go backstage for an interview with Renee Paquette. The interview was with Chris Statlander. As you know, Statlander has been a fighting champion, but she decided, to have an open challenge. So we'll see if that's wise or not. Now, our next match is another blind elimination tag team tournament. We have team number one, Trent Beretta of the Best Friends, and of course Matt Sydal. They take on a very big, powerful group, which is Brian Cage and Big Bill. So this was going to be a challenge for both. Now, the only advantage that we know that Sydal may have is the speed. Trent Beretta can try to put a little bit of power, but that wasn't really the case in this particular match, to get involved. But the one thing that was impressive is near the end is when, of course, Sydal was already in a position for a power bomb, but Big Bill applied the lariat, then power bomb, so it became a power bomb slash lariat combination that allowed for Big Bill and Brian Cage to win. So I'm sure that this is one of those matches where it tells these guys are the team that should be more threatened. So we'll see until then. I think that's pretty much it what we have for AEW Rampage. I believe it's time for NXT Level Up. Okay, so who levels up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up? Let's find out. So we only have two matches once again. This is the second time this in 2 weeks. We normally get three matches, but for some odd reason they decided to just give us two. This is like we're heading back to the times of the 205 live days where there's only two matches. But let's get reviewing it on this one. Our first match, we have singles action in the women's division. We have Fallon Henley versus Tatum Paxley. Now, I have to say this was a very interesting match. Fallon Henley, who we don't often see her wrestle that much due to the fact that she plays like manager slash second to Josh with Jensen and Briggs. That kind of sets it in. Of course, Tatum Paxley, we know what happened with her. She betrayed Ivy now because she felt that maybe she wasn't good enough part of the time in mind. That sort of ordeal. But, however, a little bit more of the aggressive side has now been displayed by Fallon Henley, showing exactly what she needs to do. I think she is one of those wrestlers we definitely could keep an eye on, knowing that maybe one day she could reach the top, but we'll see what happens until then. But she did apply the Shining Wizard onto Tatum Paxley to pick up the W. Now, our next match, before that, we had our interview first with Kale Dixon talking about scripts, about, saying things, remarks about him, about the way he acts, the way he is. So we'll see how he faces off. But however, that particular match between him and Scripps was very interesting. Scripps has been, turned into a new leaf ever since he was unmasked by Axiom, that sort of thing. But however, it took only a somersault by Scripps to put away Kill Dixon. I have to say, this is a good moment for him, knowing they picked up a good win. So we'll see what's the future hold for him now that he's in NXT. We'll find out soon enough. I think that's pretty much it, since I said it was only 2 matches, which is a very short review here on this one. So I think it's time to just move on with our final thing, news. News updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. So this is what we have so far. Now, as you guys know, if you're fans of the Lucha Libre style down in Mexico, you should know that every wrestler has a second generation or third or fourth, however generations these wrestlers are with their kids becoming the next generation. Well, it was announced by Juventud Guerrera that his own son, now known as Juventud Guerrera Jr., has now been, launched. Basically, he already made his announcement, even wearing the mask. Now, his mask is almost the same as his dad. Of course, he doesn't have the long hair like his dad, just to put that on record. Oh yes, but he is wearing a mask. Juventud Guerrero, that we know, doesn't wear a mask anymore since he lost that lost his mask to Jericho years ago during WCW. But the obvious question does tell, can he wrestle good as his dad? Well, that's only until time will tell. We've seen these with these generational wrestlers before, and we'll see what happens until then. New information came around now. As you all know, when we reported that Utami Hayashida was announced that she'll be participating in several U.S. shows, more specifically with GCW, it's fulfilled that this was more all of a sudden. Hold on, I have that report that was indicating about that. I know I saw it earlier. Okay, so this is what they reported. Utami only knew a week in advance about the bookings in GCW, which implies that Stardom wrestlers all have their US visas now. He also saying that the booking was done through Rocky Romero and Bushi Road rather than Stardom. Now, I have to say this is where I don't know. I know Bushi Road owns Stardom, but having Rocky make that choice, I feel like Rocky has no power in Stardom. I mean, to me, it would have been better off to have someone like Rossi Ogawa, to be honest with you, because I feel like he's the one who I mean, since he started this company a long time ago, I feel like they could have done this with him, but whatever reason, this happens. But I'm sure we will be seeing many wrestlers from Stardom making their way here to the States. We know one particular wrestler. I know some of you, or should I say, many of you, or all of you, however I want to call it, are hoping that comes to the state, and that is, of course, Julia, since she won the New Japan Strong Women's title. But we'll see how that goes. Now, interesting development. As we speak, we have an All Japan Pro Wrestling decided to have a Yoshi match in one of their events. They have the Evolution Girls, Sunny, Zones, and Chi Chi taking on the members of Ozaki-gun, consistent of Mayu Ozaki, Mayu Hiki, and Kakeru Sekiguchi. So that's going to be crazy. Now, as you all know, I mentioned a few reports about the latest promotion that comes out that will be launching in October. Kitsune Women's Wrestling that will have their show in LA on the 22nd of October. Now, I did mention that 2 wrestlers from the At-Risk Girls were pulled and they had to cancel their shows. Well, apparently, I did mention later on that there was going to be more talent that was announced, and this one, I have to say, spot on. They decided to book Aruka Umasaki, who is the current top champion in Diana. This is a good choice. I have to say, it's a pretty good one. Even Eric Howard from the Yoshi Pod, he's very happy with it. I know he attended one of their events on his trip um, to Japan. So yeah, I'm very happy for that. Now, next up, we haven't seen Colt Cabana for quite some time, but according to PW Insider, now, um, it was told that Colt Cabana is now working as an AEW coach and a producer. So that's the reason we haven't seen him. I normally would have thought he would be in Ring of Honor, but that's pretty much what we got. And finally, we want to give congratulations to Matt Riddle and his girlfriend Misha. They announced that they're expecting their first child together. So, uh, great news for him. I know he's been dealing with a lot, but hope he doesn't mess things up again. But congratulations, Matt Riddle, and to his girlfriend Misha. And I think that's pretty much it what we have for our news updates. So it's time to call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Well, truth to be told, I'm not sure if there's anything I want to be reviewing since it's going to be Saturday. But, however, as we speak, we do have another Stardom show taking place. I don't know when I'll be seeing that because, as you know, the Stardom world is a couple of weeks behind from everything else, except for the pay-per-views. That's all I can put in together. But we'll see how that goes. You know what? I'll just wing it. See how this one plays. Um, I haven't done the Unagi Sayaka watch. That will be coming up real soon. So stand by on that one. But as of for now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.